Due to popular demand, we are back at Taylor Cycles in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, where today expert bike mechanic and store owner Jay Taylor will be transforming my BMC Team Machine SLR 013 from an all-round race bike into a criteria machine with a lot of excellent mechanical tips along the way. So let's get into it.
Hello, Helpini fans!
So where do we start?
Today's project. Rightio, so we're going to slap some new wheels on this bad boy and a one-piece carbon cockpit. Trickiest bit out of the way first, the one-piece carbon cockpit. Shall we weigh it?
42,100.
320 grams.
What do you think of those bars that come stock on the SLR 03?
Oh, absolutely delightful. Basically, these should be flat, so they're nice and comfortable when you're riding. They're like this, so when you're on the bike, basically it's kinking your wrist. It's like having your hoods like this. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. One hood's going this way and one hood's going this way, so...
Isn't that better for aerodynamics?
It's good if you're turning right.
So, you said that putting the bars on is a two-man job. Why is that?
It makes it a hell of a lot easier if you've got two people, because it's pretty fiddly. You've got things going here and everywhere, and you've got to hold this and hydraulic cables.
This is Bailey, by the way.
Bailey Swan.
Bailey Swan.
Yes. Up and coming cycling sensation. Trying to go pro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who you ride with? Taylor Cycles have got a big team.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on, Joe? Where's my spot?
First step of swapping bars is we've got to get this off and pull the hydraulic cables out. The easy bit is it is tram wireless, so I only got 2 hydraulic hoses to play around with, so haven't been on for too long, so there shouldn't be too much ugly stuff under here.
Most rank that you've seen.
Well, yeah, it's so bad that there's a hole in the bars
Oh, wow.
from the
case.
sweat.
Wow.
Yeah. Bailey's like my nurse, gonna hand me my instruments. I wish he was a little bit prettier though, but you know.
I like to think I'm fairly
He's got the long hair for it.
Yeah. They call me Cinderella.
So what are you doing now?
We are going to get out the hydraulic hoses.
Yes.
5mm, sir. Sliding these bad boys off like so. Alright, and there we have it. A naked handlebar. A T25. Gets me every time. It's been a 5mm since the 60s. You just gave me another 2.5mm. That's even smaller. Jeez. If I was a doctor...
The patient.
Gone. Dead. Flatline. Sometimes things sound like it's just simple, like we'll get this other handlebar and whack it on there and everything's going to line up, but 405.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another 5mm, so you're going to have to slam her to run this one piece because the height's different.
Right.
It's going to check how it was cut. So if you're going to basically pull some bars off, it's pretty complicated to pull the headset out of this bike, so down here. Use the opportunity to give it a grease up.
Lotto Sedell, silicon paste.
It's delightful.
Not sponsored.
Alright, get some grease in here. You gotta get your cables on the right side. You can do this bit by yourself, is to get some electrical tape. And you just wanna hold that in there, and now it's gonna sit there. Now we've made sure all this is gonna fit nicely. We can look at getting the cables through the bars. If you're doing a modification, it's good to do it from the get-go, because with hydraulic hoses, you need to cut the cables down and you've got to make sure that they're going to be the right length. Different bars, especially the internal routing, might need to be a little bit longer. So
you're having to cut that. Why are you having to cut that cable?
Because you've got to get all this stuff off here to get it through the handlebars. So you're basically going to want to cut it as close as you can. I still find that just a really high quality set of proper cable snippers is still better than using a little tool. Now you might get a little bit of cable still stuck in there, but if you sort of give it a little bit of squeeze, you should be able to get that last bit just to come out. There you go, so you've still got plenty of length. I will screw the barbs straight in, and then I actually put these little guys on here, which make it really easy to run it through the bars. The next part is you've got to get the cable down here, through here, and out here. There's no guide in there, so you've got a... Part came out with this cable guide system. Basically, one attaches to the brake and a magnet goes through and you pull it through. I've done so many of these now that I can basically just tweak this the right way and get it straight through.
Right.
You can manipulate these a little bit. It doesn't hurt the cable at all. You can have a look here.
Where?
There it is right there. And that's why I put
yeah.
those little fittings. Watch this. Boom, straight through. You want to not grease on the steerer side because it'll be a bit slippery, but you want to grease out here. Otherwise it's going to creak. A bit of grease. Now we're going to have to basically see if these cables are going to be long enough because it's very tight. So what we need to do is have a look at the levers. How do you want these, Cam? Pretty flat?
Yep.
Hope that the cables are going to be long enough. There's got to be an olive and a barb and everything go in there yet, so that's why if you're going to do these kind of modifications, you want to do them at the start. So this little tool helps screw this on. We're miles off, unfortunately.
So what do we do?
Cry. It's going to be another trip to Brisbane to Jay Taylor at Taylor Cycles for part 2.
Right.
Fitting longer cables.
So we're in luck. Just
The cables
bit of a cheat.
just reach. They're so tight that we can't even do up the hydraulic hose because the cable's so tight. So,
It doesn't sound good.
oh, it's not a bad thing.
What did you say the
But-
negative impact is of pulling the cable through too tight?
The fork one goes up here and straight up through the stem.
Yep.
The rear brake comes up through the frame,
Yep.
up through here, and if it can be too tight, it might pull on inside the frame and jam the frame up. But you
Yes.
can see. So we've got to undo this so we can get to this and do this up properly. Just a little bit trickier than normal. 8 Newton meters, so it's pretty tight. And then, now it's attached, you bring this bad boy up, get it in there, and voila, I'm going to put it in the same spot as the other bar. And you can see that's where we want them, but that's push hard. The unfortunate thing is, when this bike needs new headset bearings, because to get the cable back through the handlebars, you've got to cut the olive and barb off. They're not going to be long enough once you cut them.
That's it.
So, new headset means new hydro cables.
Oh. What tape have you got?
We've got a selection actually.
Selection? What do you recommend?
Berg.
Berg.
A nice little Tasmanian brand.
Alright. Not sponsored. Taping.
No taping.
Very
the bars.
1980s. Oh.
There's an age-old debate of which way it should go, wrap out. And the reason being, when you hold on the bars, that's the angle of your hands. You never want to put the cap on at the end. You always want to put it on at the start. The reason being so you can get the, in case you need to just tighten this up here, and that's how you get the perfectly clean start. You pull a little bit of tension so it doesn't unravel. If you don't pull on it, it'll just all unravel and after a couple of rides. Now, when you get up to here, it's a figure of 8 here.
Oh yeah?
So that's where we want to finish the tape.
Okay.
So you can just put a bit of a mark on there. A nice long angle. You can trim it later if you need to. Pull pretty tight on this one, only just over the edge of the tape because you want this nice rounded effect. But this stuff's got this awesome stretchy rubbery matte stuff which finishes the tape off just beautifully. So very clean and neat.
Shirt company, Hark Industries, and they've released a shirt. It's EPO, Everyday People Overachieving.
Show us the picture.
Wait a sec. There it is.
Yeah.
What is after to be done?
Wheels.
Oh yes, of course. The delightful new wheels from KPS Cycling Australia.
Yes. Look at that bag.
It's a delightful wheel bag. It's padded,
Yeah.
double zipped, double handled.
Have you heard of KPS before?
No.
Yeah, brand new company.
Right.
Based out of Melbourne, Australia.
Smell them.
Smell them? Why do you say smell them?
They smell delightful.
They smell like Christmas.
Custom decals as well. People want to check these wheels out as well. Link below.
Yeah, they look really, really nice. Go, 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 go.
What pressure do you like, sir? I recommend 86. Chain tool on.
Spline. 35s, I think.
With the tyre, what do these tyres weigh? About 200 grams. So they're lighter with a deeper dish.
That 30mm more.
You definitely got to make sure that you grease all these bits. You want them tight. Because any point where you're going to have, this is carbon here, so we still want a little bit of grease in there. But on this side,
It can cause creaking, can't it?
Yeah, see over this side here, when you got the hubcap, it's going to be alloy on alloy, so you always want to give her a bit of a grease on there. Peter, g'day. Russell, g'day. Clark.
We've got no idea what we're talking about. So more details on these wheels will be coming, by the way, when I do a full review, so stay tuned for that. But for the meantime, it's looking bloody good.
That's loud. You don't need to fully bleed the system again, because the bubbles will be in here. Cutting the cables down.
Right. The DT Swiss first, front. They're the exact same tyres on them, aren't they?
GP 5000.
Yeah. That's interesting. The front's slightly heavier, 20 grams, nothing, but the rear is lighter.
Oh, I've just put on a whopping 4 kilograms.
This is what happens after hours, is it?
Yeah.
Whoa! He blew just at the right time, I believe.
Yeah.
If you've reset your pistons and you're going to put new wheels on, make sure the brake is loose. The brakes are going to work the best if the pistons want to self-seat themselves where they're happy, so it's loose. Give it a light spin and brake slowly. And it just centers it really nice. Hold the brake on. Don't crank the front one up too tight because it can twist the whole brake if you go crazy on it. So just nip it. If you put a piece of paper under it, you can see. It's still not quite centered, so we're just gonna... Yes, beautiful.
What do you lads reckon? Are you a fan of the custom decals?
I love
Yeah,
it.
I think they match it well.
Yeah? What do you think?
She's bloody loud, mate!
What do you think? Now you put it together.
Yeah, it's pretty loud, eh? Last Christmas, you gave me your heart. It can't have been 7.6 before.
It's definitely lighter. Maybe 100 grams lighter.
320 with the bars.
540. So we've lost about 300 grams. We should have. Yeah.
I've had people bring in bikes and they're like, oh, can you find this rattle? Just cut a little bit of tape off, pull it over the valve, over the rim like that.
Yes.
If you've got wheels with the screw-on thing, you can screw it down, but I never screw them down on my carbon wheels. One, the tube can end up splitting here quite easily because of the pull on it. Yeah, it can mark your rim, but see. No more. Yeah.